quede, descanse.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Buenas tardes. So, can you hear me? Good afternoon, everyone. There we go. Let me start saying by acknowledging thank you to everyone's presence, especially city council members and chief and deputy chief. Thank you all very much for being in our presence today, as well as our city auditor and all the department heads that have made themselves available. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I removed my mask. As you know, I have been diagnosed with Bell's palsy several months ago. I have to say once again, I'm still slightly challenged with some of my speaking abilities, so it's a little clearer when I speak without my mask. But I encourage everyone to keep theirs on, please. So today, I make a bittersweet announcement as I thank an extraordinary and loyal member of my team for his dedication to public service within my administration, while presenting a new team member whose qualifications are consistent with my desire to continue providing the city of Reading with nothing but the most qualified and accomplished administrators we can find. And you will hear that throughout this afternoon. Since I was sworn in as mayor, Pedro Cortés has worked tirelessly as our city's best managing director we have ever had. In this road, he has supported my vision as mayor to make Reading a thriving place to live, learn, work, and play. As managing director, Pedro has been right by my side in building a better Reading together, reinforcing my message that I often say that we are each other's neighbors. He has forged positive and constructive relationships with fellow administrators, members of city council, and other government officials, leaders in the academia, business, not-for-profit, faith-based organizations, and of course, our residents. Recently, Pedro came to me and announced that he will be leaving his post for personal reasons at the end of October. Reasons that I now respect. I'll be honest with you. Let me repeat that. I'll be honest with you. I didn't want him to leave, of course. And I did all I could on multiple times to change his mind. Respecting Pedro and his decision, we worked together on a suitable replacement. And replacement is really not a good word. You don't replace years of selfless public service. You don't replace an extraordinary administrative skill set. And you don't replace someone with exceptional people skills. After weeks of constant communication, we collectively identify a superbly qualified and talented new managing director who you'll be meeting today, and his name is Abe Amoros. Abe has more than 30 years of governmental and communications experience, having been an elected official as well as an appointed official in the city of York. I have had several meetings with Abe and believe that his skill sets will also greatly benefit the people of Reading. He has a passion for third-class cities and an established key relationships with other municipal leaders as well as those within the state. While Pedro, again, is irreplaceable, the city of Reading will greatly benefit from Abe's municipal experience and strong communication skills. But above all, his sincere commitment to ensure that my vision and the vision of Reading for our residents is thoroughly carried out and executed. It is my hope that city council members will agree with me after meeting with Abe that he is qualified to perform his role. Now, Please allow me to turn it over to Pedro, who will say a few words and introduce Abe.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Mayor. It's good to see members of council, our city auditor, and so many good friends, and particularly my fellow colleagues in the administration. Please believe me when I say that my decision was difficult. The last 9 months have not only been productive, but have allowed me to assist one of the finest human beings I have ever had the pleasure to serve. And I'm referring to our mayor, Eddie Moran. I deeply value the mayor's caring vision, dedication, and strong uniting presence. Reading is well served by the mayor and his team. The mayor has done good on his promise to bring to the city some of the finest talent available to advise him on big picture issues, and in fact, on all sorts of issues. I'm going to remove my mask perhaps to make it easier for everyone to hear. But the mayor has done incredibly well on his promise to bring to the city of Reading some of the finest talent anywhere to advise him on all issues, big and small. And they are here next to us, certainly the elected officials on the steps, and all of our colleagues behind you. I have known Abe Amoros for more than 20 years. We first had the opportunity to collaborate professionally when I was executive director and he was a commissioner for the Governor's Commission on Latino Affairs under Governor Tom Rich and Governor Mark Schweiker. Since day one, we connected on many levels as we came from similar humble beginnings with strong single mothers who cared deeply about education and making sure that their children had a better life than they did. Public service has always been a calling for Abe. Abe was elected to the York City Council 1 year after graduating from Penn State and became the City of York's first Latino elected official. The following year, he became council's vice president and served as liaison to the police department, where he focused on effective community policing and developing strong personal relationship with police officers, especially in diverse neighborhoods. In 2001, after serving as spokesman for the Democratic leader of the state Senate, he became director of community development for the city of York, where he was responsible for an $8.3 million budget and 35 employees within the bureaus of housing, health, planning, and zoning. During that time, Abe planted the seeds to bring an official Little League program to the city of York. In 2005, he and then businessman Tom Wolfe co-chaired a capital campaign that raised more than $1 million for 3 lighted Little League fields in a program that serves more than 1,000 children to this day. I'm also familiar with Abe's communication skills. In 2003, after making history as Pennsylvania's first Latino cabinet member in my role as Pennsylvania Secretary of State under Governor Ed Rendell, I asked Abe to become my Director of Communications and Press, a position in which he excelled. He excelled so much that 6 months later, I received a phone call from Governor Rendell directing me to send Abe to his office, where he served as Governor Rendell's Senior Deputy Press Secretary for 2 years, before becoming Director of Communications for the Pennsylvania Democratic Party, which he did for 4 years. During that tenure with the Democratic Party, Abe also served as interim executive director during the 2008 primaries. In addition to his communication skills, Abe also served as legislative director for a labor union for 9 years, where he cultivated strong working relationship with members of both sides of the aisle. and I'm referring in his role as legislative director, having to work with the House and Senate, both the Republicans and the Democrats. In 2018, Governor Tom Wolf appointed Abe to the Penn State Board of Trustees, where he's very active. And the Penn State Board of Trustees is one of the most coveted and illustrious, I would say, boards to which a governor has the opportunity to appoint. In addition, Abe has taught courses at the graduate and undergraduate levels in public relations, media relations, and public policy at York College of Pennsylvania. Abe's academic credentials also include a master's degree in government administration from the University of Pennsylvania. I feel quite strongly that Abe will continue to effectuate the mayor's vision, a vision of excellence, accountability, integrity, professionalism, and transparency, and that he will provide the residents of the city of Reading the highest quality of public service moving forward. To those capable administrators and committed staff of the city of Reading, thank you for a job well done. Thank you to adapting to a difficult transition. Thank you for adapting to COVID-19, for which, as is often said, there was no playbook to handle. It pains us that the doors behind us had been closed since March, but the business of the city of Reading have continued with great dedication and passion. Everything from fixing the roads, potholes, and paving, to improving quality of life in our neighborhoods, the parks, and continue to beautify the city while bringing entrepreneurs that have taken a great interest, not just in our downtown, but the city as a whole. So to my friends and my colleagues in the administration, to all I say thank you. Thank you for the care and for the welcome reception you've given me over the last 9 months. I salute you and I wish you everything and nothing but the best. So with that, it is now my pleasure to introduce to you Abe Amoros.
Good afternoon, buenas tardes. I want to thank you, Pedro, for your kind words. They mean a lot to me personally and professionally. And thank you, Mr. Mayor, for humbling me with your decision to offer me this vital position within city government as managing director. As Pedro said, public service has been a key part of my life, not just professionally, but personally. Of course, Pedro knows quite a bit about public service, having been the longest serving secretary of the Commonwealth in the history of Pennsylvania, and having directly served not one, but 2 different governors of different parties. He is a true public servant, so please join me in another warm round of applause. Please know that I will take this role seriously for the benefit of the residents of the city of Reading, a dynamic third-class city on the upswing. I have watched Mayor Eddie Moran in the past 9 months as he has assembled a most capable team of public servants who have demonstrated their commitment to the betterment of this city. Not only did he become the first Latino mayor of a major city in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, but he managed to thrive as its leader during a pandemic by having taken proactive measures to protect and educate the residents of this fine city. No one could have predicted the devastating effects of this pandemic, but he has done his part to keep residents and visitors to the city as safe as possible. His desire to create a transparent city government that positively impacts all residents of the city of Reading is commendable. I was also impressed with the number of accomplishments during his first few months, given that he had to pivot sharply due to COVID-19, 50 days into his tenure. Mayor Moran has not only served to repair relationships within city government, but has also reached out to federal, state, county, and other local officials who are also stakeholders in the future success of this fine city. His capable administration has worked tirelessly on issues surrounding Act 47 and will continue to make progress in this regard. He has also built bridges with the Reading School District, the Reading Parking Authority, the Water Authority, the Recreation Commission, the Housing Authority, and the Arts Council during this time. These are all relationships that I will continue to assist him with for the betterment of the people of the City of Reading. And I also look forward to working with members of the City Council. Having been a former City Council member myself in another third-class city, I understand the important role that you all have as elected officials and the stewardship that you have taken on as elected officials. I look forward to meeting all of you in your districts so we can compare notes and discuss a further vision for the city that is also commensurate with the mayor's vision for the city of Reading. Mayor Moran has been clear since day one. In fact, you see this on his whiteboard in his office. He values the following: accountability, dedication, integrity, professionalism, transparency, and fiscal responsibility. Contingent upon an affirmative vote by council, I look forward to joining the mayor in his vision and successful quest to make the city of Reading the very best it can be, and I thank him once again. Thank you all. And now I'll turn it back to the mayor.
Well, you see, folks, why I said this was bittersweet? That's exactly why. As I would miss a dear friend, colleague, and someone that I have gained the utmost respect for, I've learned a lot from, I also welcome the new chapter and Abe. So let me, I also have something else that I want to acknowledge, but before doing so, let me say a few words in Spanish. I won't do my whole speech, but it's important that I address our community in a language that they perhaps feel comfortable. Buenos días, buenas tardes, mi gente. Es un privilegio tener la oportunidad de tener el momento de hablar con ustedes hoy día para decirle algo que, aunque es un poquito triste, también es un nuevo día en nuestra comunidad. Triste because el señor Pedro Cortés, mi Managing Director, ha decidido por situaciones personales resignar al fin de este mes. Para mí fue difícil, traté todo lo posible para asegurar de a ver si él se podía quedar. Obviamente, después que reflejé en las situaciones en las cuales él está haciendo su decisión, lo respeto, lo admiro y lo acompaño en esa decisión, pero gracias a los esfuerzos de él y yo pudimos identificar un candidato que va a traer mucho fruto y va a poder ayudar a la misión que hemos empezado para ver un mejor Reading juntos. Y esa persona es el señor Abe Amoros, en la cual quizás escucharon en inglés todo el credencial que tiene el señor Abe, y como le ha prometido anteriormente, mis intenciones, yo no hago muchas promesas, pero una promesa que le puedo hacer es que voy a seguir haciendo todo lo posible para asegurar que pueda mandar ese asistir en ese mandato que la comunidad me dio en el año pasado cuando me eligieron, y asegurar que yo traiga los mejores profesionales posibles que podemos conseguir para que nos ayuden a mover a nuestra ciudad hacia adelante. Es triste, pero es también un día que vamos a aceptar y vamos a empezar un nuevo día. Gracias Abe, gracias Pedro. I wanted to also take this opportunity while I have your attention before I conclude, and perhaps to his surprise, I wanted to not only say thank you to Pedro, but to acknowledge him by extending a commendation on behalf of the city, which reads, whereas Mr. Pedro A. Cortés was appointed and began serving as the managing director of the city of Reading, Pennsylvania on January 27, 2020. And whereas the city of Reading and I will forever be grateful to Mr. Cortés for making himself available to serve without hesitation and with such commitment. And whereas Mr. Cortés performed his duties eagerly and each and every day in an effort to satisfy the mayor's mission for the city and his administration, leaving a footprint among all city directors and staff members of his work ethics, leadership, and competence. And whereas I recognize Mr. Cortés as the best ever managing director the city of Reading has ever had, we will forever feel honored to have had a public servant of his professionalism and human caliber. And whereas the city of Reading and I wish Mr. Cortés all future success for him and his family and every project they endeavor, that he continues to grace others with his presence and brilliant mind. And may he remember that he will always have a home here in the city of Reading. Now, therefore, I, Eddie Moran, Mayor of the city of Reading, do present with great honor, this commendation to recognize the Managing Director, Mr. Pedro Cortés. Thank you. Gracias, hermano. Gracias. I will conclude by saying that I am confident that Abe's conversation with members of City Council will go well, and would respectfully ask for an affirmative vote on their behalf. I'm sure that they will see the same thing I've seen, another gem for the city of Reading. So we have lots of work to do on behalf of the city of resident, and we're not going to skip a step. So let's get to work. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Huh?
You want to take a photo?
Yeah.
Taking a photo? Councilwoman, put your hand in the photo. Sure.